Hello everyone, welcome back. Patrick here. In this video, let's go over the 4 reasons why EV stocks are surging right now. It's been a great opportunity, and I actually picked up a little bit more today. So let me tell you about that. Hopefully it helps you. I'll see you right after the intro. Alright, so there are 4 main reasons why the EV stocks have been going up. Let's go over them fairly quickly, maybe it helps you. So first you have the Tesla effect, absolutely undeniable. They are the leader, and now they're no longer really seen as a gamble. Now that they've been able to deliver on their production numbers and they're actually generating profits, well, it is seen as a much safer investment than it was a year, 2 years ago when the company was still at that pivot point. So the company's valuation has doubled over the past few months, and while all the other EV stocks were down or flat. Right, so since May, the company went from around 580 to now 1076 as of me filming this, and they just have tremendous momentum. You guys have probably heard about the Hertz order of 100,000 Teslas. They're going to be electrifying their fleet. Well, that really plays into the electric vehicle narrative that we've been talking about since last year. We all thought that it was going to be over, the next few years. Well, Tesla is ahead of the curve, and they're implementing it right now. So a lot of the other stocks that are a little bit more speculative, right, they're still trying to find their footing. They're still trying to deliver their first vehicles, while Tesla now is actually ramping up and really cranking them out. They're not only just like delivering them, but now they're actually becoming profitable. So the risk is much lower. So that is the main thing in my opinion. There's the Tesla effect. When Tesla's doing well, it actually helps boost the other companies, right? Everyone's looking for the next Tesla, and that really plays into the second company, Lucid. Lucid is seen as a potential threat to Tesla. I don't really see it that way, but look at the amazing run they've had over the past 5 days. Think about the fact that the past Friday, Lucid was at $23 and now it's at $35. So one of the main reasons for that, and we had talked about this catalyst for several months, is that they announced yesterday that they are going to be delivering their first cars to the customers on October 30th. Now, we don't know if there's going to be a lot of defects, there's going to be a lot of lemons and everything, like that's to be determined, but people are very, very encouraged about it. And look at how the stock has absolutely surged today from $27 to 38 at the peak of the day. So that is pretty amazing. Hopefully you guys didn't FOMO into it too much, right? I know a lot of you have been actually playing the upside with calls, and I know someone that made 15,000 in the Discord, so well done to her. But overall, I mean, try to be careful about this one, right? Their production is still going to be very, very low for this year. It's not like they ramped up like Tesla quite yet. This is more of a long-term play. So at 35, I don't know if I'd really be that excited, right? It is still 57 billion, but I don't want to rain on your parade. Let's just say that Lucid did amazing, and they are contributing to these EV stocks, right? All of this is kind of spreading to the other ones, that enthusiasm. Number 3, and this one affects all of these stocks. There is a lot of FOMOing and momentum chasing in the market. This reminds me a lot of January and February. Now, I'm not saying this to be negative. I'm just mentioning it so that we realize that there is a lot of people here that are seeing these big gains. Lucid going from 24 to 38, and they're like, hey, how do I get in on that action myself? And that leads to stocks being bid up, even when sometimes it's not really warranted. So at that point, it's a little bit more gambling and less investing. Nothing wrong with that, as long as we understand that, hey, when it reaches those levels, it's time to take some profits. Now, one of the ways to actually see this is on the Russell. We had already talked before about the 2300 resistance. We've hit it twice. Now we're going towards it again, but that's not really that important right now. I do think that there's a very good chance that we'll actually go through it. One of the reasons why is that look at how we are making higher lows, and we are also making new highs, right? So from this one to this one, and then when you connect the dot, you are going to see we're starting to get on an uptrend right now. Is it going to last? I have no idea, right? This could be changed with the earnings. So if a lot of these companies report very poor earnings, then this could actually go down. But for now, a lot of these smaller cap stocks have a lot of momentum, and people want to get in those gains. So they are going to be piling onto those stocks, and that can last for a long time. We saw that last year. It lasted for 6 months before it started to crash. So I'm not going to say like take too many risks, go into FOMO mode, but if you see a good deal, then there are pretty good chances that in the next couple of weeks it is going to continue going up, at least until they report their earnings. Number 4, last one. I don't know if you guys paid attention to this, but Ford and GM reported their earnings this week. Now, why do we care about these legacy automakers? What do they have to do with the EV stocks? Well, it's very easy. Remember, for months now, we've been bombarded with reports about how they struggled with the supply chain issues. They couldn't get semiconductors to the point where they had to shut down their factories for a couple of days so that they could actually get enough inventory to build the vehicles and deliver them. All right, so this week you had GM that reported like not that well. They actually struggled and their stock has been going down. But Ford, though, report very, very good things. And Ford is a crucial player for us. I'm going to explain in a second. But remember that Ford, right, just said that they had better semiconductor supply. And let me read it very quickly. Chip availability markedly improved from the prior quarter, even as supply remains a challenge. So they expect that the supply chain issues are going to last until 2022, even maybe 2023. But the fact that they are getting more semiconductors, more supplies, allows them to build more vehicles and deliver more vehicles. Now, which companies do we know really, really struggled in the second quarter to the point where they would not give us guidance and, you know, they're super far behind their production schedule? Yes, a lot of the small EV stocks, right? You have Lion Electric, you have Proterra, Lightning eMotors, all those guys, think about it. If Ford and GM, which are legacy automakers that have all the connections, if those guys can't get batteries, can't get semiconductors, you really think that like Lightning eMotors can get enough supply? Of course not. They're going to be struggling even more than the big players like Ford, right? So when Ford is getting more supplies and they're actually giving the gliders to Lightning eMotors, the gliders are like the shells where Lightning eMotors actually puts in the battery, puts in their different systems, and then delivers it to clients. Well, more availability makes it so those smaller companies are going to be able to have better numbers this quarter. That's my assumption. That's what I've been going for. And look at how all these guys have been going up. You have the market going up, you have Lucid and Tesla going well. Well, now you have actually Lion Electric up 8%, Proterra up 10% today, and Lightning eMotors up 9%. Speaking of Lightning eMotors, they also announced delivery of 10 refrigerated vehicles over the past couple of days, right? So all of it is lining up perfectly for these companies. If Ford can give gliders to Lightning eMotors, and Lightning eMotors was able to actually get the batteries from one of the suppliers, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, like we'll have the update at the earnings, but then they could actually deliver a lot more than they have been in the second quarter. Now, Lightning eMotors has a big problem right now. They actually have a lot of orders, right, that they can't actually fulfill right now because they just don't have enough materials to do it. It's not necessarily like the manpower, it's not necessarily the production capacity, it's the fact that they just didn't have the pieces, the parts to build these vehicles and deliver on those orders. So this is like the weak link right now. If Ford can give them the pieces that they need and they can actually find the supply of batteries, then we're in business. Lightning eMotors is not an $8 stock. So that's why I actually went ahead today and reopened a position in Lightning eMotors. Alright, as I wrap up the video, for those of you that have been around for a long time, you probably remember that I had a position in Lightning eMotors before. I sold my warrants at $2.64. Well, today I actually bought them back for $150, and I bought $4,000 worth of these warrants. Now, $2,500, you know, maybe I'll go to $5,000. I'm not quite sure. It depends what the market does. Depends if the frenzy for these EV stocks continues, right? We'll see what happens before the earnings. But I feel like the risk versus reward is completely skewed in our favor in this case. Now, why is that? Well, a lot of you like to play the options, right, by calls. I feel like those are very, very difficult because we don't know how quickly the price is going to go up. The reason why these warrants are so powerful is that contrary to a lot of the other EV SPACs before, these ones cannot be called under $18, meaning even if the share price goes to 10, 12, like 13 bucks, doesn't matter if it takes 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, well, your warrants are safe. You just keep them in your portfolio and you just wait until they go up. So I do feel like this company has all the pieces together to actually go up over the next few years, right? So the risk is minimal in this case. They're not at risk of going bankrupt because they got a lot of money from the SPAC merger. All they need is more parts from Ford, which they might be getting, and a steady supply of batteries, which that is the question mark. I'm not quite sure. But assuming that they do have that, hey, 150 for the warrants, right, and now it's at 156. It's a steal at this price. Remember, I sold them for 264 just a couple months ago, right? So this might very well happen again, and I do expect to get a very nice profit on this one. It's not really a matter of if, it's more a matter of when. So I hope this helps you. I hope you like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out.